Okay, back up again, and I have low latency mode on, so hopefully it should be working. So I hope this works out. Like I said, it's something that I've been wanting to kind of do myself. I wasn't sure if I was going to have any type of hiccuping issues or anything, or a type of stutter, so hopefully that's not the case. But if something doesn't look right on the stream, or if it starts juddering or anything like that, let me know, because I will switch back to the normal latency mode. I just want to make sure that we don't have there's no problem trying to get this to work. Okay, so at least inside the trial window I have, it looks like it's okay. Like the dashboard window looks okay. About maybe 2 seconds behind. So I'll cross my fingers that everything's okay, and trust that if anyone's watching that they'll let me know if there's a problem.
Colonel, the president is dead.
I see. I'm sorry to hear that.
That makes you the president.
Your mission was to rescue the president and eliminate the terrorist threat. However, given the recent turn of events, we will honor the president's last directive. You must put a stop to Arsenal gear once and for all.
Wait, how could you hear that, Eric? All communication was blocked.
His story about this big shell facility being a front for Arsenal gear?
So many questions.
It's necessary to verify the facts. However, he was the president. I'm sure he knew what he was talking about.
Aren't you forgetting that he was part of the terrorist plot?
All the more reason why I believe his information is reliable.
Huh?
We're talking about a man who chose to die rather than risk a nuclear holocaust. Thanks to his sacrifice, the Nuclear Launch Authority has shifted to the vice president, effectively eliminating the terrorist threat.
Colonel, when you put it like that, it almost sounds like I should have assassinated the president to eliminate the threat.
That's correct.
That was not my intention. I was trying to point out that there is certainly some credibility to the words of a man who chose death to protect the innocent.
The Colonel has a point, Jack.
What about the information he gave me on the Patriots?
That's a new one on me. I'll see what I can find out. Raiden, we're running out of time. Find Emma. She's supposed to be located on level B1.
You know, I'm playing Metal Gear Solid 2, but I'm like really more excited to get through this game to get to Metal Gear Solid 3 instead.
Hurry, Jack.
It's up to you to make sure that the president didn't sacrifice his life in vain.
Understood. Raiden out.
Seacrest out.
What's your status, Raiden?
Snake, the president, he's been assassinated.
What?
There was nothing I could do.
What about the nuclear strike code sequence?
He died before his vital ID could be reconfirmed.
Then the enemy's lost their nuclear strike capability.
But that
So far on the stream, I've played like maybe
Why?
like 5 minutes worth.
They had to know that they couldn't launch the nuke if they killed the
I'll be
president.
generous. I'll say
Maybe there's
10.
a way to launch without reconfirming the vital ID.
Or maybe they found a more effective weapon within Arsenal gear.
You knew about Arsenal gear?
Yeah,
Why didn't you tell me about it?
you never asked.
Am I correct in assuming you also know that the big shell's a front for the project?
You mean, did I know that the Big Shell, a fully functional environmental cleanup facility, was designed to camouflage Arsenal gear?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. It's exactly what the President and Ames described, a massive cover story. The good news is that it hasn't really done much in terms of cleaning up the environment, so we won't have to worry about any toxic gas being released if we have to blow the house down.
Right. And when did you find out about all of this?
A couple of years
It took
ago.
a while, but we uncovered the info around the time you took out that mad bomber. There's no doubt that Arsenal gear is being built here.
Hey, it's
And
T.
it was all
Wallace.
set up 2 years ago, on that day.
Yes, Metal Gear Solid 4 is one of the best movies I've ever played too. It's very gripping when you're allowed to actually do stuff.
I took these
By the way,
photos 2
I'm
years ago.
using low latency mode, so hopefully that works and I'm not having any problems with it. And let me know if I need to make any more audio adjustments, because I had to move around my microphone last night in order to do Bayonetta 2 commentary. So I tried to put things back to where it was, but I don't know if it's going to be working right or not. Other than that, it's good to see you as always.
The tanker mission before?
Yeah.
Look at this old internet.
Simulates the events of that mission.
I remember the internet used to look like that. It's really scary.
I'd infiltrated the dummy tanker to obtain proof that a Metal Gear was under development. Shortly after I made it aboard, an armed group led
In case you forgot what you played a couple of days ago, here it is.
Olga and
Okay, cool.
Ocelot were among the raiding party.
Yeah, and him.
Who are you talking about?
A man that was supposed to be dead.
Yeah, I just didn't want to turn on like low latency mode and just have it turn to like a slideshow, because I've seen
Ocelot
people do that on their
eliminated Colonel
streams.
Belukovich and Marine Commander
So
Scott Dolph, and he hijacked
if it was
the
like jerking around or really
Betrayed them?
stuttering, I would just switch it back to the old one instead.
All I remember is what
But I like low latency just so it's easier to communicate with people. You don't have this long 7 to 10 second delay when you try to talk.
Ocelot then sank the tanker along with the soldiers of the Marine Corps.
Excuse
How did you
me.
manage to get out?
Otacon managed to have a small boat ready for me.
That was the easy part. The tough
Yes.
part was not getting dragged down with a sinking tanker.
It's like, please shave your armpits. I don't care what you do. Western beauty
Turns out
standards
that the
dictate
whole
it.
thing was a setup to lure us. Photos of Snake, taken by the Cypher, were released to the public.
We'll just snake.
In turn, we became the world's most wanted environmental terrorists.
It was definitely a move aimed at putting a stop to our anti-Metal Gear activities.
But why did they choose Snake?
Since the Shadow Moses incident, Snake became sort of a hero.
Another thing I was actually thinking about doing was actually playing around with the Switch emulator on stream, but unfortunately I have like a lower end processor. It's an 8 core, but it's only like 3.3 gigahertz. I should probably experiment with like overclocking, but
Decided to do a smear campaign.
it just doesn't run stuff too well. Like I can run Super Mario Odyssey, but we're talking like
Everybody would
15
think
frames a
twice
second
before
type deal.
opposing them.
That's it. They set all this up.
Should have
just
shot
to
down the
kill you
drone.
guys.
Yeah.
No, there's more.
But by
to
then it already has the information, you know, it has everything
The
recorded
Marines'
anyway,
Metal Gear
but
Ray project,
would've
headed
been
by
cooler.
Commander Dolph, was carried out in opposition to the Navy's Arsenal Gear project. To be more precise, the Patriots considered Metal Gear Ray to be a thorn in their side. Hence, they attacked the dummy tanker and stole Ray. They followed this up with a perfect plan. They immediately sent a fully loaded tanker to the same location and sank it. Then set up the facility to camouflage the development.
trying to remember the
of
guy
Arsenal
who,
Gear.
it's been too many years, the guy who was the captain of the Valdez that crashed in Alaska many years ago.
Colonel
The drunk guy.
Belukovich and his
Send him
daughter
out there.
Olga
Both fell victim to Ocelot's plot.
was Solidus
Now I gotta
behind
know
all
his
this?
name,
He
so I gotta
used
pull that up real
Ocelot to
quick.
get
Let's see,
hold of Ray.
Valdez,
No, he was underground, keeping a low profile. at
oil
the time.
spill.
Then it must be the Patriots.
If that's the case, what's Ocelot doing?
Hazelwood was the
alongside
guy's name. I thought it was something different. But yeah, it was... Captain Hazelwood was drunk at the helm and crashed his oil tanker into the ground in Alaska.
Forget it. We're wasting time. We can
Yep,
figure
this
out
game
later.
has
The nuclear
Fortune's
strike
her name.
zone.
She's got the
Arsenal
railgun,
still has a
and
massive
you
payload
can't
of
hit her,
missiles
and
to
she's
deal
like
with.
believes she's
If
cursed.
the opposition
She's
gets
like, I'm
control of
cursed
those
and bullets
missiles,
can't hit me, but it turns out she has like this VHS tape sized device strapped to her waist that she's never noticed all these years
you
that
got
deflects
me.
bullets.
She's a computer whiz who specializes
I'm like,
in
what?
neural
How'd you not
AI
notice that
and
that was on you?
ultra-variable volume data analysis using complex
And earlier,
logic. How she got involved
when you
in
fight
weapons
her, quote
development
unquote,
is beyond
fight
me.
her, you actually put your gun up to her
Whatever
head.
reasons, we
I'm
need
pretty
her
sure
in
if the
order to
gun
stop
muzzle, if the
Arsenal.
muzzle of the gun is up against your head and you pull the trigger, there's no way the bullet's gonna swerve out of the way at that point. You're gonna kill your target. It doesn't have time for it to move. Yes, Fortune's not bad. She plays to a couple different things I like, so it's like, alright, she's easy on my eyes. No arguments there. Alright, first things first, save. Also, hello, Inner Tears. What's up? Hope everything is cool.
Jack.
So tell everybody, let me know if any type of adjustments need to be made, like, audio or whatever. That was a chastity belt. Possibly it'd be a really weird position. I mean, it's not covering any of the fun prizes, any of the cash and prizes areas you want to normally cover.
Jack.
What is
Yeah,
it?
really weird fanny
I've
pack.
always been alone.
Oh God, Rose, why?
I'm so lonely.
Lonely. Rose, we've always...
Not always.
What do you mean?
You've never slept beside me.
What are you talking about?
After we've been together in my room, you stay
You
awake
never
all
look at me
night.
during.
You head for the door.
Is this really the time to bring this up?
Why, Jack? Why?
Listen, Rose, I'm right in the middle of a mission, and
Why?
Finally, he
Why
speaks some
can't you
sense.
relax
I'm in the middle of a
for
mission. Why are you bringing up your emotional baggage to me right
the
now?
mission,
Why don't you open up to me?
Rose, I just can't.
Well, I could skip all this, but I'm doing a full lore run, so I'm playing all the cutscenes out.
I just wanted to find you by my side when I woke up. Is that
It's because
asking
it's
too
been like
much?
15 years since I played this game, so a lot of it I'm trying to remember as I play through.
Nothing to do with you.
Not really the best
Scared of the
playthrough, but
night?
yeah, that's why I've decided to go through and play all these games again, just do them all in order, because I play 5 every day on
Jack,
PC.
you wouldn't even let
I
me
just
in
go
your
and manage my
room.
base and
I
do
need
like a
privacy.
mission or two, and that's
I just
it.
can't be bothered.
Bother?
So I decided, okay, I'm going to go through and play all the games in order. So we've already done Metal Gear Solid, now we're doing 2, and I can't wait for 3. 3 is my
Do you remember
personal
that time
favorite.
I forced my way into your room. We'd known each other for almost a year, and you blew up. It was the first time you ever
I don't
raised your
understand
hand
why these
against
two
me.
are a couple, I really don't. Like, apparently they've
I
been
was
dating
so
for
worried
years,
about
she
you.
doesn't know anything about him.
I'm sorry.
It wasn't
Like, to the point of,
that
like, what's your
makes you
favorite
upset.
food? She has no idea.
It was your
It's like,
room.
how are you two a
Your
couple?
heart
You have
was
zero
so
chemistry,
soft.
you know nothing about
There
each other.
wasn't anything in your room. Only a bed and a small
Now, I thought about the
desk.
VR missions,
It
but they're
looked
like,
a
eh.
prison cell.
Rose?
Actually, this is
No
the
television
HD
set.
version,
No family pictures.
so I don't know if
Not
the
even a
VR missions are
puzzle.
for this.
Rose, I only use that room for sleeping.
A lifeless room.
Well, that was another thing that I had like
Almost
thought
like
of,
your
like while this came to my head too. While I was thinking, like, do I do it in order
I
of
thought
release
it
of the
was beginning to
games,
understand
or
you.
do I do it chronologically
Until I saw that
game?
room.
Because if I did the
Would you
game,
have
it'd
been
be
happier if I had a
three.
picture of you hanging on
It'd
the
be
wall?
3
That's not what
Peace
I was trying
Walker,
to say.
Enough,
Ground
Rose. We'll
Zeroes,
talk
Metal
about
Gear
this later,
Solid 5,
after the mission.
Right.
1, 2,
After the
and then
mission.
4.
I understand.
But right now, I still don't even know if I'm going to play Peace Walker or not, because I really don't like that game, and it doesn't really do much story-wise. I can tell you the entire plot of the game is basically you have a small group of mercenaries as Big Boss, you have West America, you take on a mission, you grow, you get influence, and you get betrayed at the end by Paz, and that's it. That's the entire plot of Peace Walker, in a nutshell. Gymkhana! I really wish I could stream movies without getting, like, hammered by Twitch. Because I would love to show Gymkhana, because that is such a freaking hilarious movie. Yeah, so I considered doing all the different orders, like doing it chronologically, but then I decided to do game release order, so... I did save her because I don't like Otacon at all. He is the worst character in this entire series. And Emma is just as bad. I mean, it's like this... Like, Otacon's a pain in the butt, so I didn't want to have my ending be with him, so I endured all the torture and went through and saved Meryl. So now in this game, I get to hear about Otacon sleeping with his stepmother and his sister being sexually attracted to him. It's like, this family has a lot of issues. The original title, before I changed it to something about, like, latency mode, let me know if there's any problems, was, like, family therapy with the Emmerichs. This is like, they need a lot of therapy. I think I'm going the right way. I've already swam down here to get the Nikita, but there's also a level 4 door, so I think that's where I'm going to fight Vamp. I think I'm going to run into him now. Let me save real quick.
Hey, Jack.
Hey Jack, remember I just blew up at you, like, for not sleeping in the same room with me? I'll save your game, sure.
Jack.
Oh, God.
I'm trying to break into your room.
Rose, just forget about it.
Thank you. No,
listen
no,
to
no,
me.
listen to
I
him.
said I did it because I was worried
Why aren't you
about
listening to him?
But it wasn't just that.
What?
I was suspicious. I thought there might be someone else.
Someone else?
Another woman.
Rose.
Who would
I
be
really
attracted to
thought so,
blonde, like the
because
bland man
sometimes you're
here?
so horribly
Zero personality
cold.
boy.
You know I wouldn't.
I'm serious. Sometimes I feel like you're pushing me away. So
Did you get in?
yeah.
Are you satisfied now?
Did you like
There
my
wasn't
art
anyone
projects?
there, was
Did you see?
No. No, there was no one there.
Do you see it?
Absolutely no one in your room. Not another woman, not me, not even you.
Rose,
Just an empty
I'm
bag of
sorry. I
Cheetos
just
in the
wanted to
corner.
apologize, that's all.
And a
Talk
blow-up
to you later.
Wenda doll. I was really confused. Oh good, she stopped talking. Now, I have to wonder, who is eating canned food down here in this facility? I mean, that's one can. There's two more. It's like, do they... I've seen vending machines. Why are you eating out of tin cans? Why do you have a can opener? This doesn't make sense. I've actually got several cardboard boxes. I have 4 of them, but I don't know where they take me, so I haven't used them. And there's only one strut you can use them in anyway.
This is Otacon. What's your situation?
Wet and miserable. This place is flooded. The seawater that's been pumped up is pouring into the building.
I see.
Good point.
Listen, there's something I have to tell you about EE.
Don't worry about her. I'll get her
You
out.
lay your hands on her, I'll beat you up with my nerd rage.
Yeah. When she was 6 years old, she almost drowned with my father in our swimming pool.
She can't swim?
Well, yes and no.
Your
We used to
dad
swim
was
a lot together when we were
paralyzed.
kids.
How was he
In fact,
swimming?
She swam like a fish until that day when she
Well,
almost
paralyzed
died.
people can swim,
the
yes, but
accident
why would you
happened,
have
I
your
was
daughter in there with
I
you
learned
when your
later
legs
that
don't
EE
work?
was calling me for help. She didn't doubt for a
Ooh,
minute
good
that
point,
I'd
Inner
be
Tears,
there.
yeah. Vamp,
You could
Vamp
see
may
the
be a
pool
bean
from my
fan.
room.
He made like pork and
I
beans.
didn't realize at the time that she
Actually, he
needed
does
my
like pork
help.
and beans. His name is a play on that.
I was,
So Emma survived the ordeal.
yeah, but my father didn't.
So you blamed yourself and left your family.
No. EE seems to believe that was the case. The fact is, I betrayed her.
And you think she can't swim because of the traumatic experience?
I haven't
No, it's
seen her
because
since
I was
that day.
banging her mom.
Yes, I think so. I got a letter from Julie, her mother, after they moved back to England. In her letter, she mentioned that EE couldn't swim anymore, that she refused to even wear a bathing suit.
Damn, if she still can't swim, we're in trouble. Level B1 in the core is pretty much flooded.
Look, maybe you can help her overcome the trauma.
Just
want
give her a
me
bunch
to
of
help her get
Benadryl,
over
wait
it?
till she goes to
It's
sleep,
still gonna take some time to repair the Kamov.
Sorry, kid. Emma's rescue is up to you.
and drag her through the water and hope she doesn't drown.
Thanks. An underwater mission. Well, this is a first.
Oh yeah, you can do all sorts of stuff with Emma.
I suggest that you drum the map of the building.
And I plan on doing it. I've been kind
because
of
you won't
showing
have
off
time to look
weird
at it
things
when
as
you
I've been
try
going
to
through
bring
that I
Emma
remember
out.
coming
I'm
across.
counting on you, Raiden.
I covered most of the core when I had to take out the C4s. If there's anything you need to ask me, call me on the Kodak.
I'll do that.
Alright, so here's what doesn't make sense. Well, first of all, like, when you come out of water, it disorients you. Like, you can't see exactly, you can't tell which way you're facing. If you go into first-person mode, you can line yourself up where you need to go. Second, how does this work? I'm underwater. Let's call Snake. Now, keep in mind I'm underwater.
Emma's probably being kept in filter chamber number 2 on floor B1 of Shell 2's core. Go around from the south and you...
Yeah, I'm trying to get somebody to talk. Let's talk to Rose, because she always asks me stuff.
What can I do for you, Jack? See ya.
Okay, it doesn't work right now, but it's like earlier I accidentally did that. And like Snake was talking to me about a suppressor on my gun. It's like, I'm underwater. Why doesn't it sound like I'm drowning like in Pinocchio? It's like, that's what it should have been, but... And there's mines too, which means that they knew that someone was going to be swimming through this place at some point in time. Let's see, Stillman's body was around here. There it is. Hey, Stillman. How you doing, buddy? Did you defuse those bombs? Did those legs help carry you away from the explosion? I don't think they worked right. Well, that's pretty much what you're doing with the codec anyway. You're actually having a conversation that only you can hear. So it's like, I think it's just a cover for schizophrenia. Terrible swimming controls. Okay, so yeah, so I'm pretty sure I'm about to fight Vamp. I thought that there was. That's why I like had called Snake and let him know about it. Maybe I can call him here and he'll say something. But yeah, because like I tried to call Snake and then he starts talking about the suppressor on my SOCOM instead of like, oh, you found Stillman. Because I remember that happening in the PlayStation 2 when I played it like 15 years ago.
Emma's probably
Nope. So okay, nothing with them. So if I'm gonna fight him, M4 is really good. I remember that doing really well, and also like the grenade launcher too, because Vamp keeps diving underneath the water, and you just shoot a couple rounds in there, and he just swims into him and it explodes. It's great. So I'm pretty sure this is gonna be Vamp, if my memory serves me correctly, being 15 years ago. Yep.
Still ticking, huh?
Unfortunately, hell had no vacancies.
You're interrupting my hot yoga. Let me just randomly yell. Well, scratched him at least.
I thought so. Human
No, the Twilight vampires wish they were this guy.
clearly what a person's next move will be. They even tell me which way a gun is going to be pointed before the trigger is pulled. But your muscles,
It's like Vash the Stampede.
this should be fun. Well worth the wait.
Yeah, Trigun was like an anime series I really enjoyed, but it took like such a radical left turn. Like the first 4 to 5 episodes of the show
Knew I was coming.
were comedy, and then it like went seriousness right after that. And it was still good, but it was like, whoa, okay, what happened here? But he was like this genius gun person. He could tell which way a bullet was gonna go just by looking at the gun barrel before it shot, so he'd just dodge out of the way.
Live bait for the big catch. Crazy Ivan sometimes speaks the truth.
Rising? No, I hate that game.
She was
Some people like it. I really do not like it at all.
quite serious.
And it's weird because I like Platinum games, but that one I just do not like. Because when it first came out, there was no blocking, no parrying whatsoever. Then they patched in blocking, which is great because you could just hold it down whenever you wanted to. And then it kind of became fun and more playable. Then they patched it for a third time, took out blocking, and added in a parry mechanic, which you have to do. And for me, it's not a fun game for me, at least. I much prefer the Ninja Gaiden games instead.
Insulated compression
But yeah, Metal Gear Rising just does not click with me at all.
initiated by the current president, and Solidus has no
Yeah, it's really weird too. It's not really considered, I don't think it's canon, but
nuclear bomb is at
it takes place after Metal Gear Solid 4, which the ending, like the 45-minute ending for Metal Gear Solid 4,
in nuclear
Jack basically gets his original human body restored. So he stops being a robot, and then all of a sudden he's like, I'm never going to go back to that. And then a couple years later, Rising happens, and he's like, I'm back to being a cyborg for no reason.
as killers.
It's like,
responsible
what
for
happened?
mass murder of civilians as well as our own allies.
The whole thing about staying with Rose and your kid and having a family and
Turning a death
staying human, not giving up your humanity, embracing yourself and everything else, just threw it out the window. It was a neat concept.
face of the earth.
And Platinum saved the game, because I mean, it was going to be cancelled because Kojima came up with the idea but didn't know how to execute it. So Platinum swooped in and did a good job for what they could, but it just didn't really click for me personally. I know people who love that game, but for me it's like, I'll play other stuff. I don't like hate it, but I'm just like, I'm kind of like meh about it.
Final check for activating Arsenal has been completed. All Arsenal personnel report to your stations.
Ah, okay. Well, that would make sense. I just don't remember if they even explained it in the game at all.
Still hoping that the girl can install that virus you're carrying around, aren't you?
You know?
It's a
yeah.
shame you're not going to be around long enough to hand her the program. That isn't seawater, you know. It's a byproduct of the microbes contained in the pool. Buoyancy is practically non-existent thanks to the high oxygen content. Once you
So,
fall in, you don't come up.
high oxygen content, which means you'd sink right down to it. How is he standing on top of it?
Show me what you've got.
Show me what you've got! Okay, so this fight... Grenade launcher is your friend. Just shoot a couple of rounds here and there into the water. He'll swim into them. See? Aiming. Oh man, the controls of this game are not the best. Oops, that was dumb. Okay, it's gotta make me switch to it. I was thinking I could just peg him with the rocket launcher. It's not gonna work. So it does that you can't move at all, so... It's like the game wouldn't, like, I was hitting the fire button, wasn't doing anything. Really, game? Come on. Are you shitting me? That's the problem with this game, is that the controls are the absolute nightmare. No. It's the only time we really use grenades anyway. It's like the game is so freaking twitchy. Well, the problem is that the controls are extremely twitchy. It locks on sometimes, other times it doesn't. And when it does lock on, it doesn't mean you're going to hit what you're aiming at. Like, I was locked onto him and it started shooting the other knives out of the way. So... In the boss fights, it's literally you versus the controls, because everything is just so crappy. It wasn't until Metal Gear Solid 5 when finally, like, someone at Konami finally told, like, Kojima, hey, listen, your control method sucks. For, like, the past 4 games, everything else you've done is terrible. We need to make this modernized. It's like, this should be hurting him. There we go. Like, right there, I tried to punch him and it still hit me. That's just basically the game's gonna hit you no matter what. You can't get out of it maneuver. Also, like, the really annoying thing is, like, when you get knocked down, you just stay down freaking forever.
Jack, what's going on? Answer me!
I had right on the control pad, it ran me into the water. That's another thing, too, is, like, while I was on the bridge earlier, the one time I didn't fall through it, which it did that one time, you can hold a direction, sometimes it'll just randomly reverse. Oh, this game is such a pain. So right there, I was trying to hit him, I just barely touched the stick and it went jerking all over the place. I got an idea. Probably won't work well, but let's try. Haha, it works. That's great. The only downside, however, is that I can run right into my own claymores. Yeah, Emma is really not worth all this, as you mentioned. She's really not. The girl's got issues. I didn't think he'd hit me from there. I thought wrong. That's really what I wanted to do. Lay down instead of do a cartwheel. It's like I'm supposed to hit him, but he's moving way too fast for me to be able to track. Yeah. Hey, cool, finally got him. So remember, she's got the hots for Emma, for Emmerich, for Hal. Hal's got the hots for her and her mom. And I'm pretty sure, like, we know he slept with his mom, his stepmom. I'm pretty sure he was also doing something to her too, because they're a little bit too close.
Colonel, they've apparently completed the final check procedure for arsenal gear.
Find Emma on the double. You've got to get her to install the virus program that the President gave you. When you find her, take her to the computer room on level B2 in the core of Shell 1.
I don't know. I really don't know how. I mean, Steppenwolf was just weirdly... He was weirdly creeping on her before and just obsessed and stalking her. But, like, Hal and Emma's relationship reminds me of this fake commercial. Pardon me. Now, if you've never seen this before, the first part of that link is an actual Folgers commercial you may remember seeing. But then it cuts into a parody part. It's just... It cracks me up every time.
Understood. I'll make sure you have your family reunion.
Do you think she likes me?
Then you should see her, right?
I don't have the right to see her.
We can talk about this.
I don't know how to talk to girls.
I think you'd better get moving. Emma's in the locker room to the north, right?
I'm on it.
Any more goodies for me to pick up? Or yeah, that's right. As soon as you beat them, they disappeared. Stinks. All right, let's save. Rose.
Jack, do you need to save? Talk to you soon.
Alright. Onward! Ooh, Russian. Yep. Completely full life. Yes, it's hard to talk to people. Yeah, it's like me and my ex, you know, I don't see her anymore. Well, she doesn't see me because I'm hiding in the bushes outside her house. She's so pretty. Okay. I was like, I'm going to take the hit for that, and I wanted to see what it was. And unfortunately, this is where you do not have radar yet, so make things worse. But also by doing this, I'm also clearing out the path because I have to swim back through here with Emma. Hey, cardboard box. No. Yay, radar. And a whole bunch of lockers that I really can't. There we go. Ryden's in the closet, yearning to break free. A girl! A grill! Oh god, she pees herself just like Emma. Oh god, just like Emmerich. I forgot. I didn't even remember she did that. No, don't hug her. She just peed herself.
You out of here.
Get me out. You're lying. Where are you taking me this time?
What are you talking about? I'm here to help.
Well, I guess a weak bladder runs in their family.
Here, I'll prove it. Do you have nanos?
What?
Well, do you?
I do. Everybody on this project has them.
Okay, good. Let's try. Can you hear me now?
Nanocommunication?
That's right. I have nanomachines too.
Then you're not one of them.
That's what I've been trying to tell you.
And you came to rescue me?
Actually,
Is
I need your
there
help
like
to stop
a
Arsenal.
disconnect
I
here? Do I
understand
need to
there's
bust out
only
my
one
sock
who might
puppets
be
to
able
explain
do
it to you, Luke?
And who told you that?
The president.
Really?
I need you to come with me to Shell 1. Your brother's waiting.
I think you're
for you
right.
there.
I think everybody does pee themselves at least once in every game. If not like a main character, at least somebody somewhere
This place will
does.
be flooded
So I'm
soon.
trying to remember, I think like, yeah, Sergey or whatever the guy's name is, like the scientist guy you go to rescue in number 3, he pees himself. Yeah, exactly. Just as I said it, you typed it. Hell calls you, keep your hands off my sister. Keep your hand off my lover, I mean sister. Get your hands off my sister wife.
We better move.
I can't swim.
Well, you're gonna be a floating corpse, so you better figure it out real quick.
Leave me.
You can swim. You used to love it.
How do you know?
Your brother told me.
He's really here?
That's right. He's here to rescue you.
I don't believe you.
He would never come for me.
And I'm telling you he's here, waiting for us at Shell 1.
I think I think this voice actor went on to do Ashley in Resident Evil 4.
Hated him the most. When my father died, all he could think about was himself.
Sounds familiar. I wouldn't be surprised if that turned out to be true.
We have to get out of here.
No! I hate water! It's hopeless!
You hate water, but then you took a job out here in the middle of the ocean, surrounded by water?
I can't swim!
That's like Anakin Skywalker levels of stupid. I hate sand.
Deep down inside, you know you can swim.
I can't keep my eyes open in the water. Endless blue. The water, it wants me. It won't let me go.
All right, then close your eyes. I'll guide you.
I was injected with something. My legs. I had trouble moving them.
Listen, Emma, just hold your breath. I'll do the rest. First, we'll head to filter.
Yeah, you tell her that, like, yeah, oh, don't worry, I'll give you mouth to mouth while you swim, it'll be great.
Hold my breath.
Otacon just furiously starts calling you nonstop. I can do it.
Just a little while.
Are you sure?
Of course I'm sure. That's how I got here.
I don't think I can do it. I'm not good at holding my breath.
Look, Emma, I have an idea. Put your ear against my chest and listen to my heartbeat.
Your heartbeat?
Count the beats. Don't think about anything else. When you reach 100, open your eyes.
When you reach 100, open your eyes, and hopefully you won't have, like, you know, inhaled a bunch of water from trying to hold your breath that long. So what you can do is you can take the diapazam or whatever it is. This slows your heartbeat, and it makes her last longer for the breath underneath the water because she's listening to your heartbeat and it slows down.
Okay, let's go.
I'm closing my eyes.
Take some deep breaths. 1, 2, 3.
Wait!
What is it?
Let me take off my glasses.
You know, you should wear contacts.
There's nothing wrong with my eyes.
She's a hipster.
I wear them for show.
Trying to be different from the other girls?
No, it's not like that. I like glasses. And there's this guy I liked who used to wear them.
Your first boyfriend?
No. Somebody more important.
Oni-chan!
Anyway, they bring me luck.
Oni-chan!
I see. Okay, let's...
Japan and their obsession with incest relationships. I don't get it. Alright, so what I'm gonna do is turn around and swim back up. Ha ha ha! You can't make me do this. I showed you, lady.
Raiden, go with Emma to Strut L. If you exit the Shell 2 core and head south on the KL connecting bridge, you'll get to Strut L. There's no time. Move it. Press down and hold the...
Yeah, I know. I don't care. Okay, so it's locking me out of the door now because I was wanting to check the rest of the lockers. Yeah, okay. So, let's put equip into low rations. And let's do... save. Do that conversation again. Pardon me.
Jack, is that you?
It's like, who else calls you on this frequency? Probably her other boyfriend. The one who actually talks to her.
Hang in there.
Okay, so you take this wonderful little drug and it slows down your heartbeat. I hit the action button. I guess I'll go this way. Come on, I'll lead you to your death. I think this is where I need to go. Nope, that's a closet. That is a closet. Let's go for air. No, I will not be playing European Extreme. I'm not that radical. I have a feeling this is like right where I came from. No, cool. I actually got through there in record time, I guess. Come on. I remember just getting lost in there for so long. Here, why don't you go for a swim, Emma? Push. So if we're supposed to be hurrying, what are we doing here taking a break after like a 20-second swim?
You did good.
I concentrated on your heartbeat. It reminded me of when I was a kid.
Sounded like my brother's, literally.
I remember my brother giving me a piggyback ride. I was sleeping with my ear against his back. I could hear his heartbeat.
Sounds like you were close.
We were, back then. We were stepchildren in our parents' second marriages. Wherever
She
my
might.
brother went, I used to tag along. My brother didn't have any close friends, so he used to take care of me. We both wanted to be loved so much. So much that we used to pretend.
Pretend?
Yeah, we used to play house. My brother was the husband and I was the wife.
Therapy.
But it was always
Please, for the love of Jesus, Allah, Buddha, Gaia, Satan. If you don't know which one's real, just cover all your bases.
I never had a family.
Go to therapy, woman. Yeah, she does look like Paz in that. I was thinking, like, Paz, huh? Maybe that's what happened to Paz.
Colonel?
You think she died, she blew herself up. Nope.
We've managed to avoid drowning.
Good job. Get her over to
Sounded too happy with that. We managed to avoid drowning. Sucks to be you. Pay up. I won the bet. She didn't die.
Taking the oil fence at the bottom of Strut L?
Yeah, I remember that.
You should be able to go down by way of Strut L. Try and get over there.
What about Emma? She's been injected with something and she can't walk without any help.
Take her with you. Free your hands of any equipment and hold down the action button to give her a hand. To release your grip on her, take your finger off the action button. Emma can sit and wait until you help her back up. And be careful. You won't be able to use any weapons while you're leading her. Now head for Strut L.
We're on our way.
After another phone call.
Raiden, we've infiltrated the computer room. What's your situation?
Emma's safe. We're heading your way.
Good job.
Shell 1's deserted. Looks like everybody's aboard Arsenal.
I had a look at the system, but there's nothing I can do. EE's our only hope.
Right. I'll put her on then.
Huh? EE? What? How?
I'll use my Kodak as a relay. Here she is.
Oh god, no, please.
How?
EE, is that you?
How?
EE. Why are you involved with Metal Gear?
Why are you involved with
You
Metal
knew our
Gear?
family's dark history and still got involved? What's wrong with you?
I should have known.
Answer me.
So I
why
guess
are
he's the
you repeating
tsundere in this
same
relationship.
I wanted to hurt you.
I'm just waiting for him to say
I wanted
Baka.
to see you suffer.
mistake? EE?
You abandoned me.
No, that's not what.
Yeah, this is the same voice actor as Ashley in Resident Evil 4.
Who are you?
I'm a friend of Otacon's, Emma.
Otacon.
Enough with the sibling rivalry.
That's not what this is.
We haven't got time for this. Raiden, get her over here right now.
I...
Gotcha, Snake. I'll head over there with Emma.
Most of the enemy's aboard Arsenal, but I suggest you be careful. Make sure Emma gets here in one piece.
Raiden, take care of my sister.
Don't worry. I'll get her there.
What's up, Jack?
She's not gonna accuse me of, like, being with this other girl and be jealous and fly into a rage about it.
Well, Jack, it
Oh,
sounds
here
like
we
you
go.
and Emma
See?
are getting along just fine.
Really?
Rose?
I've been monitoring your every move and conversation. I can't say it's been fun.
Give me a break. I'm only trying to keep her spirits up.
Is that right?
Absolutely. My mission is to get her to the
Why does she
computer
think
room.
that I like this girl?
Yeah,
You're lying. You're attracted to her, aren't you?
I'll admit she's cute.
Jack,
Cuter
dump
than
this
me?
girl and run.
You're beautiful.
Go with the
You know
weird
I
girl
do.
who likes her brother way too much.
Remembered yet?
You mean April 30th?
Yes.
It's your birthday, isn't it?
Wrong. You're not even warm.
What is it then?
Forget it. It's nothing. Maybe I'm just a little jealous.
Rose?
You'd better get moving. Good luck.
Come along. Escort missions. And just like Resident Evil 4, she's in another... Half the game is like an escort mission.
Emma, Snake and Hal are waiting for us in Shell 1's computer room. I've got this disk that the president gave me.
It says,
This
do
disk
not
is
get
supposed to
wet.
contain a virus
Oh.
that can corrupt Arsenal Gear's operating system.
She did something for the first time that day. I don't know what it is. But it's Rose, though. It's not Emma, so...
What?
Why did the president give it to you?
Huh?
Did something happen to the president?
Yeah, he may have been shot through the lungs by some geriatric guy who may think that he's a dead clone.
President. He's dead.
What?
You actually wrote this virus?
It's not really a virus. It's more like a worm cluster. It's actually a delayed effect autonomous program that's designed to invade GW's cerebrum and render its nerve connections useless.
You know what GW is?
Of course. I created it.
Huh?
Robotic George
It's
Washington.
fast.
Well,
Cat got your tongue?
I'm sorry. How about the Patriots? Ever heard of them?
Lalulelelo?
But I only know what I've been told.
Can you tell me what you know?
Sure, but it's hard to put into words.
Right. Are you reading me, Emma?
Yes, loud and clear.
The president said that Arsenal Gear was the Patriots' key to supremacy.
That's as good a description as any.
What exactly is it?
It's a massive data processing system capable of controlling information on a global scale.
A data processing system?
That's right. The system's a social device for maintaining the Patriots' control.
You've lost me.
Well, in this day and age, information emerges from every direction and is freely distributed. A variety of information gathered by servers employing the latest in high-speed communication networks and P2P technology is rapidly circulated to individuals. In fact, the speed of this circulation process is accelerating on an almost daily basis. The Patriots seem to be afraid of this development. Apparently, they believe
Yep,
their
this is the
role
one with the
shift
parrot.
from dominant
You can
to
mess with it
dominate.
again. You can, like, hit it with the coolant.
Let me give you an example. You're aware of Solid Snake's anti-metal...
Oh, I forgot I was gonna screw around with Emma. I should do that.
I know a little about it.
Well, that's just a small sample of uncontrolled information. I can guarantee you the Patriots did not want Solid Snake's name publicized. Now, look at it like this. Political scandal, corporate corruption. Up until now, the Patriots have managed to keep a lid on these and
So
other
basically,
self-serving
the Illuminati is being
With
run by the
existing
lizard
processing
people,
system, they're no longer able
and
to effectively
that's pretty
control
much the plot of this
flow information
game. Everything has
generated at the
been
individual
puppet mastered
level.
by these 12
With the
people,
newly created
who it
system,
turns out
they
you learn in
can
number
regulate
4
digital
were all
information.
completely dead, and it's just being
High-level
run by a rogue
information can
AI
be
computer.
categorized in stages, given clearance levels and deleted as necessary.
It was basically
Never
Skynet
to be
was
seen
creating
by the
war
public.
in order to make
By
itself
revealing
rich
such
for some
information,
reason, in order to
Patriots
control
can
the
shape
world,
the
which
course
doesn't
of
make sense
history
because
as
it's a
they
robot,
see
it doesn't
fit.
care.
Somebody's bound to catch on.
It's a computer.
Oh, the memory capacity, not to mention the lifespan of the average individual, is extremely limited. On the other hand, digital information lasts virtually forever. It doesn't deteriorate.
So?
Yes, it
The
does.
alphabet, 26 letters, right? It could have been 30 letters. What if the 4 deleted letters were controlled by a program?
What makes you think that every single language has
In fact,
26
something
letters?
similar is already underway. Do you know how many genes exist in an individual?
About 30 to 40,000?
Right, that's what was announced at the turn of the century, but there's actually 100,000 according to the original theory advanced by the
The
scientific.
lizard people are being run by the mole people,
Remaining 60,000 was
and the
suppressed
cloud
by
people are right up
agents.
above, and there's chemicals in the water to turn
How'd you
frogs
know?
gay.
Do you know what a gene looks like? Did you count them yourself?
There are research organizations.
Of course. And their reports
Oh
have
yeah,
already
these
been
stories are
severely
just
altered,
Kojima, like,
even beginning to
taking
believe
acid and
reductive
just writing
reports.
down nonsense and
GW
whatever
is a system
conspiracy
that
theory he
allows
happened
the
across on the
patriots to
internet.
decide what will be recorded in tomorrow's
He
history.
thinks he's so smart, but it's just like, you're just
Is
writing
one
nonsense.
huge censorship system for deleting information which might be inconvenient to the Patriots.
Exactly. The actual physical core for handling the task, GW, is installed in Arsenal. It's the only system in the world with an optic neural AI that has a parallel processing capacity of 980 trillion Hammets.
I suppose that being a specialist in neural AI and complex logic played a significant role in your association with the Metal Gear project.
That's not the only reason.
What do you mean? I guess there are plenty of other reasons.
Yes, there are.
I understand.
Do you?
So Arsenal Gear was actually designed to protect the GW system, wasn't it?
Yes. It's armed with everything, including nuclear weapons, and is fully equipped with cyber-terrorist countermeasures.
And that's the reason why I don't
Physically and logically, it's the
think,
ultimate fortress
like,
for
I don't
present
understand
day.
why people think he's a story genius, because he's just, I guess because people can't follow the stories because he makes them so convoluted. But I mean, his stories contradict themselves constantly. One thing disproves the other. Other games retcon to previous ones, like Metal Gear Solid 5 retcons this entire story arc. Everything, all the other previous games get thrown out the window.
Computer industry prior to the end of the century?
You mean the Y2K problem?
That's right.
He just keeps coming with these like wild, crazy things, trying to make himself sound smarter, but it just doesn't work.
Program, using the internet at full capacity. The program was distributed to every government
I remember
organization.
Y2K. It was hilarious watching all the people freak out who didn't understand a thing about
Same
computers.
program was included in an
Oh my god, Y2K, my toaster oven's not gonna work because it doesn't know it's not the year 1900. It's like, it doesn't care. Like, they thought like planes were gonna fall out of the sky, lights would go out, just because of a date. Computers don't care what date it is. Set your computer to 1900, see what happens, it doesn't care. Set it to 2199, it doesn't care.
Nobody's aware of it, but
It doesn't go, oh my god, the future, and like explode.
Is that why Solidus wants to burn out every electrical circuit in Manhattan with a nuclear blast?
Probably, but the overall system isn't.
Well, the original Metal Gear,
What?
It's still
like for MSX and like the NES ports, were basically, they based them off the cover art of the guy who played Kyle Reese in the Terminator films. I'm trying to think of the actor's name, I'm drawing a blank on it. Michael Biehn,
It's not your fault.
I think it was the guy's
Wasn't for
name.
the terrorists.
Oh, I am just dropping a bunch of frames.
Well, I think that's about all I know.
Right.
It's like internet dropped down for a quick second.
I think we'd better head for the computer room.
My bird in the computer room.
Oh god,
Is
not your
it
stupid
safe?
bird. Yes.
Noisy, overgrown
It was
parrot?
tasty.
Excuse me, he's a parrot, and he's my best friend, my only friend.
Well, the bird's okay.
Good. Did you know that in the old days, miners used to take a canary into the mine shafts to detect toxic gas?
Yes, because they were expendable.
No, I really needed someone to talk to.
Right. I think we'd better get moving.
Yes, he really needs somebody to talk to, which like keeps calling out Hal's
I'll do my
name.
best.
Whatever you do, don't open your eyes.
Why not?
A dead body, not a pretty sight.
Oh,
Once we get past it, it'll be too dark to see anything. What are those sticks in
Well, that's
your-
right. I was trying to think of like the Metal Gear. Yeah, the MSX ones. That's
they're
right.
like chopsticks.
The MSX games, like Metal Gear 2 on
Did you know they were pretty
MSX,
popular in Europe
that
and South
portrait was
America?
based off of Mel Gibson. I had to
Say
stop
what
and
I
think
do.
for a second, but yeah, you're right.
Cute, but smart too.
Oh, I'm much more than cute.
I'm mental.
Okay, let's go.
Come on, you. I'm gonna push you into the water. Okay, now we're gonna save, so we don't have to listen to all that nonsense again.
Jack, is that you? Jack, how far do you think the Patriots' digital control extends?
I just want to
I don't
mess
really know,
around.
but it probably influences a lot of what goes on in our everyday lives.
Even mundane
I
things
complain about like all the
like
talking now, but I know that
songs
3, the game I really want to play, is going to be even
The
worse.
easiest thing to manipulate. I mean, think about the kinds of film and bands everyone wants to go to see. It's whatever's at the top of the charts.
And if the charts are made up,
Exactly.
Because charts are made
can't
up.
really control individual taste. It's too closely tied to personality.
I don't know about that. Trends have always been about following the leader.
Not necessarily.
The age of direct personal interaction is over. So is the idea of word-of-mouth communication. Rose, you have any friends you've met online?
Yeah, I do.
How many?
Well, if you count only the ones I talk to a lot, I'd say about 20.
How many of those have you actually met?
1 or 2 tops.
Uh-huh. That's how it is for everyone, I guess. And even if your online buddies had fake identities and were circulating false information, you'd have no way of knowing.
Oh no, T Wallace, are you really T Wallace 123?
And there'd be no
Are you sure you're not a rogue AI, or that I'm a rogue AI, convinced to play like Metal Gear Solid 2 and not that well?
Have you ever really shown me the real you?
I wouldn't even know the real me myself.
But you're being honest with yourself now. Well, that's how I see it.
Well, how am I being honest?
I've never seen you show so much feeling. Fear, anger, even a kind of giddiness. It may seem a strange thing to say.
And the crazy thing is too, when you like, if you play through this game and you just blow through all the dialogue, I think you can beat it in like 2.5, 3 hours. If you're not speedrunning.
I'm just saying
You know, I'm sure speedrunners are able to do it faster, but
What about
I think just like the average person who's played this game before, just blowing through all these things here, just hitting the skip button, I think you can beat this game in under 3 hours. So hey, cool. Really? Damn it, game. Let me guess, there's mines. Look out, there's claymores here. Could have told me this before. Okay, you're a very convincing Russian bot. See? Thank you. I mean, you could have told me this before, but... It's like the master telling you things way too late. Next thing I'm gonna get a call. Look out, Vamp can't die. Alright, so I think one of the ways you can mess with her is staring at her for a while.
Let me rest. Just for a second. I am so tired. Ow.
Stand right there.
Ow.
Yeah. She's dreaming about Hal. I think if you call it Colonel or Rose, she gets really upset.
Press down and hold.
Nope. Okay. What, Snaku?
Be careful, Raiden. You're a dead man if you fall into the life react.
Okay, so they're not doing it here.
Raiden.
Totally don't knock her out.
Oh, Venus in Cancer.
Raiden, you didn't!
He doesn't sound too upset. You didn't, really? Did you? Really? Are you sure about that? So I'm trying to remember the ways you can mess with her.
Let me rest. Just for a second. I'm so tired.
Oh yes, the best one, quote unquote. Alright, so now drag around. So I remember, okay, so it doesn't seem like there's much more you can do here. I thought there was like a codec call you could do if you lay on top of her, like somebody calls you a pervert. It might be, but I may just not be triggering it right. I remember like later on when she's crossing the struts, if you take out your long-range microphone, you can actually like point it at like Snake, you can hear what people think about each other. It's pretty funny. Alright, so let's... quote unquote, because I don't think this is a good game. I don't think it's that great a game, actually. It's alright, but actually my personal favorite is number 3. For me, that's like my personal favorite. Everybody's got their own. Yep, I will be getting to that game eventually. The whole thing where like Raiden actually like pretty much redeemed Raiden, made him like cooler after all this whole debacle of this game, where Kojima literally like beat and switched on everybody. So I don't think anybody was legitimately happy about this game when it came out. Hey Emma, open your eyes. Where's Stillman? Oh, that's right, he's on the other side. I was gonna traumatize her. Oh yeah, 3 is the best. It's pretty good. I like 5, but I mean 5 is very, very much unfinished. And it's like very small subset of people, like you point out the fact that like 5 is an unfinished game, to like they're like, you're insane. It's like the game's like 60% done if best. It's got some concepts. It's not anywhere near finished at all, but it had some interesting concepts to it. It was going in the right direction, but you know, everybody knows how that turned out. Five's not bad. It's definitely playable. Actually, what really caught me off guard was... oops, that's the wrong way. Was... number 1, Metal Gear Solid 1. Ooh, Metal Gear Solid Survive. Yeah, that wins for worst currently. But Metal Gear Solid 1 actually surprised me a whole lot because I played that so much when I got it back in the day. I actually bought a PlayStation just to play Metal Gear Solid. And having replayed it a couple weeks ago, it's like the controls do not hold up. Aiming is atrocious. It's bad in this game, but it's even worse than that. Oh, goody bugs. Just tell her to close her eyes again. I said Metal Gear Solid 5, like I said, the problem with that is that because it was literally an unfinished game, that Konami forced out the door in order to make money back because they didn't have a choice, really. Come along, you.
I can't stand bugs. I am not moving.
It's like the aiming is like really, really difficult in number 1. It's like you do so much, like you'll just fire your gun and you just try to hit anything. You're just shooting around everybody. Yeah, exactly. And that was my whole thing about Metal Gear Solid 5 that people don't really realize. No. Grab her, thank you. It's like, don't hit the button again. It's like Kojima spent 7 years making Metal Gear Solid 5. And Konami was literally running out of money, and then he goes to them, he's like, hey, I need like another $5 million to redo the soundtrack, and that's when they're like, hey, guess what, you're going to release the first level of the game as its own thing in order to make some money back, and then you're going to ship the game in 6 months. And it's like I said, I understand their position, because the Konami was in financial problems, and he's just delaying everything and screwing them around. Trying to be a perfectionist, so... But they took it way too far for what they did, you know, basically, like, calling out people who, like, were taking bathroom breaks and trying to shame them for that, turning off internet access, everything else like that. They went way too far with showing their displeasure for it. But like I said, at the same time, I understand from a business sense, they had to get it out, because this Metal Gear Solid 5, if I remember correctly, took in $500 million in the first week it was on sale. So it's like they made money, but it's like they had to get it out. They were left without a choice. You have like the entire third of the game. Oh yeah, they were like if you went on like a bathroom break or anything like that, they're like, oh, it's like you took too long. It's like, what? They were like publicly shaming people for going to the bathroom. It was insane. Yeah, and that's what they were literally doing. It's like if you took too long bathroom break or lunch or anything like that, they were restricting you out. People were being reassigned. Like if you like basically would like put people on janitorial duty. It was insane how they were treating their employees. Nah, this isn't the way out. Wrong button. Let's try this. Okay, so I need to get strut L. Sewage treatment facility. Ew. Come along. Well, like I said, that's basically like Metal Gear 2 for the MSX, with the portrait that had, like, Snake was basically Mel Gibson's. Either that or the Colonel. They were using like one of the portraits for him. It was Mel Gibson. Yeah, Metal Gear 2 was pretty good. I'm not talking about like the Nintendo ones, I'm talking about like the MSX computer ones. I mean, they were good for the time, but yeah, they just don't really hold up too well. Okay, you stay here. Let's save the game. Because you always have to constantly save.
What can I do for you? Take it easy.
You're not going to accuse me of chasing after this hussy? Apparently they make these drones out of paper mache. Oh yeah, I mean, it was just, like I said, it was just so completely undone. Then you had Unfinished. You had Ocelot, who was basically not being himself. You know, he wasn't his crazy self, he was the voice of reason. He didn't like to torture people. It was like a complete 180, and of course the excuse, like, apologists for the game uses like, well, he was underneath hypnotherapy to make him forget that he was, you know, who the real Snake was. It's like, no, that's not going to change you around like that. It's like Kojima forgot who these people were, and then he just completely retconned the entire story and characters. Like, Master Miller became Kazuhira Miller instead, and all of a sudden he's missing limbs where he didn't have them. He had them before. It's just like, he just screwed the story so bad. You're supposed to be... It's supposed to be like this whole thing about like how Big Boss became evil and then founded like Outer Heaven and all this thing. It's like basically, oh, that's right, I need to put out the fire. It was supposed to be like this whole, the fall of Big Boss and how he turns evil, and then you have all these trailers showing like he's recruiting children soldiers, and you do recruit the kids, you save them, but they're not child soldiers instead, like they're not fighting for you. So it's really bizarre. It's like you can basically play the game as a good person and recruit people. Yeah, basically the whole thing is you're actually not, if you don't know what it is there, Village Idiot, is that basically you are not Big Boss the entire game. You are
What's wrong?
a medic who was in the end of Ground Zeroes, like the beginning level. And they surgically altered you and brainwashed you to believe that you're Big Boss, because they're trying to say anybody could be Big Boss. Even some random nobody like you.
Ta-da!
So, you find out you're not Big Boss, the real Big Boss is somewhere else, and he's trying to form Outer Heaven. So the entire game is a wash. There was no point to it, there was no fall of Big Boss, nothing. Well, yeah, it was, I mean, everybody saw it coming. It was no surprise, to be honest. Now, people were expecting to have the fall of Big Boss in there, like basically show him going evil and how everything got started, what led up to Metal Gear, and it just didn't happen. And then even the storyline, there's somebody out there. Then like the entire storyline about, gosh, what was I gonna say? Like they got cut, like the third act, like the final ending that ended up on DVD for over 20 minutes explaining everything that was supposed to happen. That didn't even resolve anything. Anything over here? Broken stuff. So it's supposed to be this big thing, like you go and to this island where Liquid Snake took... Oh, jeez. Yeah, so this would be the whole thing, like you go to the island, you try to get the Metal Gear back, and you fight the child soldiers, and it's big humongous battle. It still doesn't resolve anything that happened with the story. I mean, it's all on YouTube. There we go. Yeah, exactly, like you're fluent in Russian, they're like, Well, there's a piece of metal in your brain. It might be affecting the language center of your brain, which it really doesn't in that section, because language is more. It's on the right hemisphere, if I remember correctly, more towards the back. So it's like, and you got this big chunk of metal in the front of your head, which is gonna hit like your memory section. Yeah, and exactly, the chapter 3 they got cut. It's like that they had proposed to do. It didn't matter at all. Yeah, and that's the biggest thing is like the entire game, nothing mattered. And that was a shame because it had pretty good controls, it had good ideas behind it. It's a neat open world concept, but because they had to pad out the game that was clearly not finished, you started doing repeated missions over again for no reason. It was never explained. All of a sudden it's like, hey, do this mission, but now it's harder. And then after you do a couple of those, then the ending kicks in. So, oh no, I'm not apologist by any means for Metal Gear Solid 5. Like I said, I enjoy it. I think it's not too bad for what it is, but it is clearly an unfinished game. Oh yeah, I've encountered people who freak out and like just think like you're the Antichrist if you think that Metal Gear Solid is 5 or an unfinished game. It's like, it's clearly unfinished. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you had the side ops which kept repeating themselves over and over again, which is like, it's okay, I can understand they're trying to find things for you to do, but then they have the main missions after like 26 or 27 missions start repeating themselves again for just a bit harder, and then after you do like 5 or 6 of them, then the ending kicks in out of nowhere. It's like, what?
Well, we have to go down a ladder.
How far down?
Just a little bit.
Why do I feel like we've had this conversation
They
before?
would have to pretty much make a brand new game.
About 130 feet.
And Sony has Kojima currently wrapped up doing Death Stranding, which who knows what that game's going to be like.
Better. The numbness is
But I
gone.
mean, it's like, it would be interesting to see if he would actually finish it, if those things would actually be fixed. If the storylines would be better, more integrated so it didn't retcon everything, the entire games. If you had less repetition. If Ocelot was actually himself, his crazy, ridiculous self. You know, it would have been interesting to see, but who knows? I mean, even like if Konami had enough money and enough patience with Kojima after that time, I'm pretty sure that Metal Gear Solid 5 would probably just now be coming out. Or it might still be in development hell. It might have been like, you know, the Final Fantasy 15, like 10 years in development hell just about, but at least this had something to it, unlike the other stuff.
The sunset. It's beautiful.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the characters were not themselves.
If we don't hurry, it'll be the last we see.
Yeah, so I'm thinking like, if he had his way, if he had the money to do whatever he wanted, and Konami had the budget at the time to let him do it, we probably would just now be finally beginning to play Metal Gear Solid 5. But if it would have been finished, or if the gripes that people have with it would have been taken care of, don't know. I mean, that's a wild card. You just really don't know. Even as a mental exercise, just pondering things, it's still an unknown quantity.
This is Raiden. Do you read me?
Yeah, what's up?
We've made it to the lower part of Strut L. We'll have to cross the water from here.
Can Emma walk?
Yeah, she's okay. The pontoon bridge doesn't look too sturdy. Emma's gonna have to
Could be.
cross it alone.
Right, the oil fence.
There are ciphers and several guards.
And what really irked me about Metal Gear Solid 5 was you had all these amazing trailers coming out, and like a lot of it just didn't happen. You know, or it did take place in the game, and it just didn't matter at all. Like Skullface was pretty much nullified as a bad guy. He was like set up to be this really intimidating figure in the ground zeros in the first level of the game. They're like, whoa, this guy's messed up. You know, he's gonna have this girl raped in front of this other guy just because he can. And then it's like, oh, nothing there.
Make sure you don't hit Emma. Right
Yeah,
now,
like one of the
Arsenal
trailers, you're
Security
walking through like a
Department
destroyed
security should be
village,
at a
burned
minimum.
dead
That
kids
doesn't
everywhere,
mean
and you're
it's going
freaking
to be
out, and
easy. Given the
it's not in the
situation,
game.
they probably got claymores in place to make up for the security shortage. Make sure you use your thermal goggles.
Right.
And that's why, like, I see stuff for Death Stranding now. It looks kind of interesting, but I'm like, I'm not trusting any of that at
I'm
all.
gonna clear a path for you from here.
How?
Sniper
So
fire.
he was doing that stuff like even back from Metal Gear Solid 2. If you remember about this, no one had a clue that Raiden was in the game, and he put out trailers like where it's all nothing but Snake.
Would you take no for an
Like
answer?
the Harrier fight takes place on the George Washington Bridge, and you're running around. He's like shooting down the Harrier and everything else there for it, and the tanker's blowing up. It's sinking. You're fighting your way out of it, and none of it was in the game. He did that on purpose. Two's not bad. It's a remake of number 1. I mean, they even addressed that at the end of the game. They're like, oh, this is a simulation of Shadow Mode, is this? Because I remember thinking the entire time, like, this is Metal Gear Solid 1, but just coupled, like, slightly different.
See ya.
Ryan's not too bad. Rose is just annoying. You're in this life and death mission, trying to survive, and she's like, do you remember what day it is tomorrow on the 30th? Do you remember that time we watched King Kong? Do you remember our first date where we did nothing but fight for hours on end, but then somehow we like each other? Hey, what's up, B&B? Alright, so this is where I can have some fun. Alright, so let's take out... And I miss. And I miss again. Oh, I forgot there's mines on the bridge. Oops.
Emma! Emma!
Alright, let's just go into murder mode. Let's see... Twitchy controls. Oh, crap. There we go. Forgot to pick up the night vision goggles. Oh my god, these controls are so freaking twitchy. It's like, please die. I think she's safe for now. Nope, there's another... God, these controls are so... I am literally barely touching them and I'm flying everywhere. That is my biggest complaint with this game, is like the first-person aiming controls are just bonkers. They're like, you can blow on the controller and you'll just do almost a 180. Say, where is she at? Oh good, more stuff has spawned. Yeah, it's like the aiming in this game, like even using like the analog stick. Well, in order to aim in first person any other rifle except for the one that automatically puts you into it here, you have to hold down, have your weapon equipped, go into first person mode, then click on the left thumbstick, and then you can aim your gun anywhere you want to try to shoot. And I think Metal Gear Solid 3 gets even more convoluted for the aiming scheme. I just remember being absolutely ridiculous, the worst. Where's all this stuff freaking coming from? The game's interrupting me with a forced cutscene when I'm trying to shoot a gun.
This is Snake. Can you hear me?
Yeah, nice and clear.
I've reached my sniping position on strut E. I'll provide support fire from here.
Right. Do me a favor and take out whatever I missed.
That's gonna be a lot.
Call me when you want me to shoot.
Shoot now, please.
Snake, I can't handle this alone.
Okay, I'll take care of it. I'm going to show you how sniping should be handled. Take a good look. My
Oops,
sniping
the safety was on.
to the area you're watching through your PSG-1 scope. Keep a good lookout on Emma's surroundings.
I've mentioned this
Even while I'm
before in
shooting
other
all
streams, but like I've shot a PSG-1 before. It is very accurate, it's very nice, but it is not a good sniper rifle because it throws your brass 30 feet through the air. Everybody will be able to see where your position is. Okay, there she is. Let's see. Thermal goggles so I can see what's going on. It's like, who is shooting? Okay. It just like chucks brass right through the air. It's like, it's not a good tactical sniper rifle. Yeah, it's like years ago, a friend of mine, his dad was into collecting guns, and he actually had a PSG-1 that he had bought. It was like, I think he paid like $10,000 for it. So, got to go out shooting, and it's like, holy crap. It's like, it's really cool. I managed to hit target about 1,000 yards out. Not the first time, mind you, but yeah, it's like, you learn real quick that that gun just, like, it chucks its brass right through the air in a nice, wonderful, literal 30-foot arc. Well, I don't go shooting anymore. I just basically went a couple times here with my friends. I don't own a gun anymore, but I used to own a Barrett a long time ago. Oh, it's Snake. Okay, so I was gonna shoot that. And M8281, M82A1 I should say, not 81. And that gun was ridiculous. It was fun, but I mean it was just like, why am I locked in the first person like this? I mean, it was like you had to double up on your hearing protection. It was, you had to put earplugs inside, and then you had earplugs on the outside there, like external, like shooting muffs, and it was just loud as hell.
All right.
It was like literally a 4-foot explosion going off 4 feet in front of your face. Oh, we got some trouble over here. Okay, we got him. How did he shoot from that angle? Oh yeah, that it was like way too expensive to shoot anyway. I mean, when I had to sell it in order to get like weight loss surgery, it was about 13 bucks a round to shoot just about. It was like, okay, this is getting way too expensive anyway. Yeah, it can definitely get expensive. Like, guy I know, he's like a really big humongous gun nut there. He's building himself like a 458 SOCOM. He's like, oh my god, the ammo's expensive. I was like, you knew that before getting into this. He's like, I can barely, he's like, I won't be able to shoot it much. It's like, yeah.
Too shaky. What if I fall?
Fall. Doesn't matter. Vamp's gonna kill you anyway.
This isn't happening.
I don't remember there being mines out there. I don't remember seeing any out there either when I was scanning. Did you? Oh, stealth mine. Oh god, I have to do this all over again. Really, game? Couldn't do a checkpoint? Couldn't be cool, huh? I see how it is. And gotta use this because you can't aim for crap without it, even though it is crap. Alright, then thermal goggles. Like, literally, I'm barely touching this. It would have checkpoints, and Metal Gear Solid 5 would have checkpoints for certain missions. They weren't too bad. I mean, they were reasonable, so if you did screw up, you would have to backtrack a little bit, but it wasn't like, okay, you've lost like a credible amount of like minutes type deal. Exactly. It's like there wasn't really any consequence for going lethal until number 5, really, and then they have like the whole morality system, which didn't really matter in the end anyway. So it was just basically, it was better to not kill just so you could recruit more people for your base. It was pretty much the only reason why you didn't want to kill people in number 5. Well, he's gone. Let's see if he's gonna do anything yet, or he's not even there yet, I don't think.
Snake, are you close?
Keep it together. We're almost there. Just hang on until then.
I don't think I played the VR missions for this. I had the subsistence version, which is what the HD version is based off of for the Xbox.
My sniping position on strut E. I'll provide support fire from here.
I wasn't really a fan of the VR missions. I played the ones for Metal Gear Solid 1 that they put out. I don't think I played them for this. If I did, it's been way too long. So, I mean, last time we did like a full playthrough of this game was like about 15 years ago. And then the drug wears off, so I can't shoot for anything. I've seen like trailers of it where it's like Godzilla type characters, like big humongous giant soldiers exist. They're fighting each other type deal. Game. It like would not back off the scope. And this section is just so freaking pointless too, because Vamp kills her. It's like literally, it's like you survive this entire thing and he just jumps up and stabs her right in the back.
Snake, I can't handle this alone.
Okay, I'll take care of it. I'm going to show you how.
Yeah, so I don't see any mines out here now. Really don't want to keep using this because I need to make a shot where I need to shoot Vamp instead. Oh yeah, exactly. Where you're, it was like, oh cool, it's like you're doing this kind of stealth thing, and then it's like you have to keep tailing this person through this really long city without being seen. Cars are going by constantly. That part was not fun. That level, that section, the entire thing. And then they had to bring back Eva for reasons I don't really fully understand. Who should be like 100 at that point. But it's like, hey, we gotta throw everything. Because that was supposed to be the last game, so they were trying to throw back characters from everything that had been in between. Like, hey, remember from this game? Yeah, it was really slow, super restrictive. You had to constantly hide. You take like 10 steps. You had to like calculate exactly where you were, like sprinting from car to car and cover to cover, hoping you would not be seen. Call me Big Mama! No, no, I won't. Hell! Of course, Snake's right there and has a clear shot. Where's it at? Really? Come on. Shoot her. Shoot her.
Right.
Yeah, he knew the true story between him and Otacon.
How bad is it?
She's conscious, but the bleeding's bad. I'm bringing her over there right now. Raiden, get that disc over here as soon as possible. I'm afraid her time's running out.
I'll be there.
I'll run in slow motion because I'm in such a hurry. It would have been more interesting. It's like, that's not a stab wound, it's a bullet wound. Shh, quiet. Don't let it on. Don't let him know. We need to hurry, quick. Stop for another 10-minute phone call.
Snake, what's your situation over there?
Emma seems to be, doing something to GW's defensive capability.
Things I can't really post or send through the mail. It's kind of illegal.
Hurry. I don't think she's gonna make it.
How's the bleeding?
She's... just get over here. You'll find the coast is clear with everybody aboard Arsenal right now.
Understood.
Coast is clear, but then I can clearly see there's somebody on the other side of the room. Let's see, where do I need to go? So I need to get back to, okay, to the main core. Okay. Oh yeah, Zone of Enders box. Hee hee. Digital camera. Oh, before I forget, save. Don't want to do that all over again.
Jack, I guess you need to save.
That is pretty much the extent of our relationship, yes.
Rose, can you hear me?
Why are you...
I'm right
No.
Actually, that's okay. Forget it.
Jack, what is it?
You wouldn't understand.
Try me, Jack.
I find
Please.
dying people sexy.
Not to you.
Please, tell me. I can help you.
No.
Where he's all glitching out because it's a simulation. Yeah,
You can
it's
tell
pretty
Snake,
crazy.
but you won't tell me?
He's different.
Especially the first time you get there too, and that happens, you're like, what is going on?
No.
And the radar cuts up to some footage of some girl sitting on a deck. It's like, what?
You want me to pick up a gun and fight? Is that it?
Yes.
Lord, no. You're the one person that I'd do anything to keep out of this place.
Then what is it?
I'm a killer.
Yeah, we know.
I see men hit, I see them die in agony, and I don't feel a thing for them.
Don't think things like that, Jack.
I'm a born and bred killer. Nothing like Snake. He fights for something he believes in.
So do you. You're doing your duty.
No, I'm not. Somewhere deep
Congratulations,
inside,
you're a
I'm
functional
doing
psychopath.
this
1 in
game.
100 people is just like you. You're not special, Jack. I'm betting there's probably mines out here too, just because that's pretty much the way this game operates. Nope. Wow, I'm surprised. Because I have level 3 grip, I can make it all the way across. I don't need to stop. Yeah, the coast is clear. What about these other people? I was hoping you wouldn't notice them. Jim Cotta! I think you have to hang. I don't think there's enough room for you to slide across. I'm not too sure.
Jack, I've been thinking for a long time. You've got a no trespassing sign pasted on your heart.
And that's exactly why I'm playing all these games, because it's been years since I played through most of them completely myself.
That's ridiculous.
Don't try to deny it. You know I'm right. Stop lying to me.
Somebody's bleeding out. We have a couple minutes to input this thing to stop nuclear annihilation, and you want to talk about my relationship.
It's not that I'm rejecting you.
The Colonel should have just, like, cut her off a long time ago.
Forget about it.
I'm sorry.
But someday, do you think you might let me in? To the other side of that sign?
Yeah.
Possibly break on through to the other side.
Someday.
Break on through.
Promise me?
Yeah, I promise.
Oh, hey, elevator's here already. That's convenient. Yes, that's the best thing I like about Metal Gear Solid 4, is that Rose is in that game, but only during the ending, and she says maybe 3 lines. Actually, not, she says a couple more, but like her ending segment with like Jack is maybe 5 minutes
I
max.
think he got some internal organs. We can't stop the bleeding.
Well, there's a lot of organs that are internal. If you hit her in the center like that, she's going to be fine, but if you hit the liver or a kidney, that's going to be a problem.
I'm here.
Oh, I normally do. Like I said, having not played this game in like 15 years all the way through, it's like, let's do a full
Emma said everything.
hear everything run. It's like,
Apparently
oh my
all you have
god.
to do is pop in the disc.
Right, exactly. Otacon's in the game too in 4, but he's not nearly as pretentious and annoying as he is in these games.
That should insert the virus into the
He's more
AI.
down like a matter of fact type deal. Like, okay, here's your objectives. Here's what you need to do. That's his whole thing is, Snake, you shouldn't be doing this. And do you think it's okay to stalk women? She's totally into me even though she doesn't know my name. We're married.
Is the virus upload complete?
I don't think so. The count stopped at 90%.
Quick. Use Visual Basic to create a GUI. Create a GUI using Visual Basic to backtrack to the IP. It worked on CSI.
By the Patriots?
Will the virus still work?
I have no idea.
Hal is
Oh yeah, completely.
everything
There was
all right?
lines that David Hayter refused to record. He's like, sounds too this sounds like way too homoerotic for this situation. He flat out refused to record some lines, and Kojima was upset with him about it. It's like, we're not in a gay relationship. Why are you trying to make me say this?
Family's dark history.
Yeah, that's right.
Hell, I'm pregnant with twins, but only one is yours.
What if the virus doesn't work?
Either destroy that thing or take out Solidus and his men.
How do we get on board?
I don't think we can. Unless somebody...
Yeah,
else
number 4,
gives
like,
us
their
a hand.
relationship turns into kind of like the Mr. Burns, Mr. Smithers type relationship, since he's so old. Accelerated aging because he's a clone.
I always.
What is it?
I just remember... I can't remember a whole lot of it, but I just remember you riding off of the snowmobile or him clutching you tightly, and it's just really,
wanted
really
to see
weird.
you again.
Which is entirely the reason why I kept Meryl alive through the game. You don't get his cool stuff at the end, but you know what? You don't have to deal with Otacon as much.
You don't hate me?
He's an otaku who likes Japanimation.
I never wanted to get in your way. I never wanted to hurt you. I thought that with Arsenal, if I followed in your footsteps, I could be closer. I just wanted you to look at me. Look at me as a woman.
We're related to
I
EE.
could never do that.
Thankfully, thank you.
So honest.
And then this is where you find out, I'm pretty sure this is where Otacon breaks down. You find out he's been banging his stepmom.
Can I ask you one last favor?
Sure.
Call me Emma.
What?
Please call me Emma.
Now spank me in the butt and call me Emma. What? Nope, next is going to be Metal Gear Solid 3. I'm going in order of release. So... Metal Gear Solid 3 will be next. And like I said, I complain about the codec calls in this game, but 3 is worse. Yeah, I like 3 the best, but 3 is the absolute worst for sitting through everything.
Emma?
I need those glasses to see.
Emma?
They're not decorations like yours.
Emma? Emma?
This actor just, he cannot sound...
Answer me.
He doesn't have like any emotion other than whining. Even when he's trying to sound sad, he sounds like he's whining about it. Yeah, there was good calls, but I mean, it's like the length of them were just crazy. I mean, you get in a conversation about stuff, and they'd be talking about movies, and so the paramedic, all these different crazy movies that are classics now, but she had just seen them because they were just come out type deal. But it's just like, you'll have codec calls just last easily like 10 minutes at certain points, I can swear. Like, even if you hit like the speed up button, it takes like 30 seconds for it to ramble through everything.
Because of the accident, I had a relationship with your mother.
Yep, banging the mom.
She seduced me,
I don't think she had to try too hard, dude.
and it went on. My father's death was no accident.
It's like I said, he's got that one tone of whiny, and that's it.
It was my fault.
You
It was
can't
all
tell if
my
he's
fault.
happy or sad, excited or angry. It's all the same. Yeah, she starts asking you questions like about the stuff you've eaten. It's like she's like, what did it taste like? Chicken. I don't know. I'd have to say Meryl because she's alive through most of the games there. Eva was way too old. Boss didn't see her. Well, you still don't see her. Like, he saw her like in that one mission, then she ran off, and that was it. He never saw her again.
We have to get the hostages out.
So I'd have to say Meryl.
Repairs.
Done.
We won't be able to get everybody aboard.
We'll just have to take as many as we can.
My sister won't be able to come with us.
Yeah, she's dead. I'm not carrying her dead weight.
The countdown shortly. Personnel in the upper levels, head for the evacuation area immediately.
Like a whale sound going on in the background? Whale song?
I'm always the survivor.
Remember when you killed that girl who didn't know my name?
Why, Wolf?
Yes, and it turns out Johnny is one of the genome soldiers, which is based off of one of your clones, like the Big Boss clones, so in a roundabout way, she's still kind of like that, but yeah. But she's still alive, more action, you get more screen time with her. She still has a like on-again, off-again relationship attitude with Snake. Like, Eva was like a seductress for 3. She did her job well, but after that, like, canonically, she falls off the radar until 4. And at that point, she's almost 100 years old, and no one's seen her for years.
You've got your job. We've got ours.
Yeah, exactly. Like, Otacon's like, oh, I love her, and she likes me because I feed the dogs. It's like, she doesn't know your name. You've never really talked to her. He admitted as much. Like, they never talked. It's just like, okay, that's like creepy stalker stuff. He even talks about her hair smelling good at one point. It's like, dude, that is creepy. Three men and a parrot walk away from a dead girl. There's a joke somewhere about this, I'm sure.
Try to get as many hostages out as you can.
Perhaps leave the bird behind?
Don't worry about overloading the cam off.
Leave it to me.
I think we better be... Yeah, that's... They have their own handshake. Yeah, that's great. I think I'd rather leave it to Beaver at this point. Bro, hug it out, man. Bro, hug. Walk it off. Walk it off.
I'm counting on you, Otacon.
Alright, bro. Just like that snowmobile, man.
I miss you. Hal, I miss you. I miss you. I miss you.
I want your babies, Hal. I have a feeling that they bathed together like way too long, like into their teens.
We're the same.
So you're both like incestuous people, or what?
Both you and I, we were always alone. Always. We only wanted to be loved. We were always waiting. Waiting for somebody. Somebody who would love us, but we were wrong. You can't wait to be loved. You have to go out and find it.
Prostitutes, call girls, escorts.
Realize that you can't just wish for a happy family.
Love is only a light switch away, and a credit card transaction in some cases.
I wish I knew that sooner. I learned that I could love, as you probably did, Emma.
You think he's gonna be okay?
He's tougher than he looks. Consider it done.
He cries into his pillow every night. I hear it. It's really, really pathetic.
You can come out now.
A ninja? What the?
You've seen this ninja 3 other times at this point. This is not a surprise.
We still need you to take care of a few things. This time, do not fail us.
Snake, what's this all about?
Bedtime, Raiden. I wouldn't do that.
You're changing sides now?
Change sides? I don't recall saying I was on yours.
Damn it.
Gray Fox!
You! Ready for some shut
I mean, Olga. I want to say right now it's probably been about maybe close to. Let's take a look at the chat log so you can get an idea. So yeah, it's been about 10 minutes since I've last done anything on this game. Well, why the ninja? Because, like I said, this is technically a remake of Metal Gear Solid 1. So they had to include the ninja in here somehow. It didn't make sense, but Kojima did it.
Jack, are you reading me? Do you want to save your mission data up to this point?
If you don't say anything, if you can't hear me, just say something.
Your mission data's been saved.
You're not peeing yourself, are you? I mean, that seems to be a running theme with most of these games.
He was when Olga brought him in. I've checked everything, including the genome data, but there's nothing on this guy. NSA, CIA, FBI. He doesn't exist in any database. He's a non-existent operative from a non-existent...
Yeah, and I was wanting to end the stream too, because my pain pills are wearing off.
I know this man.
Getting very uncomfortable to sit and play. Dr. Octopus?
It's been a while, hasn't it? Jack the Ripper?
You know this fellow?
On some good drugs, apparently.
You remember me, don't you? You've grown. High concentration of cerebral implants. Have they altered...
Oh no, I haven't had surgery. I need like a back fusion, like 3 or 4 levels. So I've been on like pain pills for a year and a half. I'm trying to get a surgeon to fix my back. And it shouldn't be as hard as it is, but they don't want to do it so far. They're like, yeah, you need a back fusion. Spine's all screwed up. We're not going to do that though. So right now they're like, well, we need to do like a nerve conductivity test and see if you have nerve damage. And that's not going to be until February of next year. And then we'll see, like, maybe you'll put in a stimulator instead, which isn't going to fix your spine, because, like, my spine, like, I have multiple blown discs, and then, like, the spine itself is unstable. It's actually sliding around when it's not supposed to. So it's like, there's massive problems. So it's like, the fusion I know is going to suck, but it's going to allow me to walk again, pretty much, because, like, right now I'm literally at a shuffle. I can barely walk. So it's like, just get it done so I can get back to work, get back on my feet and get going. And everyone's like, oh, like the doctor's like, well, you might still have pain. Like, I don't care about that. As long as I can physically walk and do my job, like go back to work in IT, that's fine.
Outstanding kill record earned you several nicknames, including White Devil and Jack the Ripper. Jack.
Gosh, what was that? What was the White Devil name in Ace Ventura when Nature Calls? Shikaka or something like that? It's like they keep calling him that.
I should have known they would recruit you.
Oh yeah, it's like I am like fighting to try. I am literally trying to find a doctor to do like a fusion for me, and it's just like they just keep dragging their feet, and there's no reason behind it. It's baffling to everybody involved. They're like, why won't they do this after they told you straight up you need a fusion? It's like, beats me.
What about Dead Cell?
Ignore them. Happening again?
Which makes no sense because it's just a stupid arm attached to you.
In another hour, we demonstrate the power of Arsenal gear.
Attack with standard
Exactly.
weapons, of
It's
course.
like,
Yes, proceed as planned.
it's not fun to go through, I can guarantee it. I used to speedrun Bayonetta 2, and I had to give that up because there's a lot of button mashing in that game.
The men are being
And
refitted
oddly
with
as it is, because of
equipment
how my spine is unstable, when I button mash like crazy, it starts moving my spine around and it kills me. So I had to give up speedrunning for now.
You're the spitting image of Big Boss.
Well, thanks.
Is that so? Perhaps I should be grateful to this kid for that.
You played Metal Gear Solid 1, you know how this
I
works.
find it very nostalgic.
Where am I?
Why, inside Arsenal Gear,
I said that like William Shatner. Where am I?
actually,
Spawn.
we're also inside the memory of Shadow Moses. I'll take this back. You don't need this anymore. do you?
A mini disc. Remember how those went nowhere? That was fun.
A foul wind is blowing. We shall speak again.
Yeah, I have a feeling that Olga was the one who took him off. Wanted to see your little snake.
Don't move. Stay as you are. We're being monitored by a camera.
Hopefully it doesn't have microphone on to hear everything I say to you.
I'm switching over to nanocommunication.
Mr. X? Ninja?
Correct. It's me.
I thought you were the leader of the Russian troops.
Duh.
No, that was just a smokescreen.
A smokescreen?
I was sent to provide you support.
I was sent to run around like chicken with leg cut off.
The Colonel?
No, the Patriots.
What?
I deceived my troops, betrayed them.
But why?
My child is being held hostage by the Patriots. It all started 2
Yeah,
years ago
Sonny.
when I lost my
Oh,
father
God.
during the tanker incident. My men and I had nowhere to go, so we joined forces with an illegal Russian organization.
The Russian Mafia?
I really don't see why Sonny was in like number 4.
Actually, I learned much later that it was a subordinate organization of the Patriots.
She has this weird stutter,
I was
can't bake
expecting
eggs,
my
and like I'm
When I
guessing
gave
she's
birth to
the
my child,
comedic
it
effect,
turned out
like
I
or the
was
comedic
in a
character in the
hospital
game. I
run
don't
by the
know.
Patriots. In the morning, my child
All it had to be was like, yeah, we got her
My
and
baby is being
she's
kept
somewhere in the
somewhere in
ship
this
just
country.
hanging out, but like they kept trying to give her like a star big role
No.
between missions.
Once a month, they send me a photo of my child via network.
They asked me to
Every
send
little
35
child
cents a
in my
day
own arms.
in order to
I
help
see.
her village.
Given your situation, nobody can blame you for what you did.
That's your opinion.
What about Snake? I thought you were enemies.
He wasn't responsible for my father's death. Actually, we owe him our lives. 2 years ago, they were responsible for getting us out of the sinking tanker alive.
This is from the E3 demo.
So you were partners since the incident?
No, I only found out the truth.
E3 demo / trailer.
When I confronted him here.
You fought with Snake? When?
2 years ago.
Well, it was around the time you were holding hands with that girl.
Oh.
Snake. So you joined hands with him to pay back a debt?
No, mutual gain.
Mutual gain?
My job was to assist you. If Solidus gets away with Arsenal, your mission is a failure.
So if these are like radio calls, how do we see each other's faces? How am I able to zoom up like this? Is there like a camera that magically floats outside?
On your success.
So you did it all for your child. But why would the Patriots want to help me? Are they hoping I'll take Solidus out?
No, you're just like me. We're just pawns.
Pawns for what purpose?
The S3 plan.
Would have been. Like I said, the entire tanker thing was scrapped, and Kojima made all that stuff just to basically, one, it was showing off the particle engine that they had built up for this game.
Solidus will commence his attack any minute.
What was it? Digital Foundry did a really cool breakdown of Metal Gear Solid 2, and they actually went through and paused part like where water was rushing in, and there was actually individual water droplets, which was pretty neat. But yeah, I mean, Kojima just fooled everybody with this game. So like I said, he had like fake trailers showing Snake fighting the Harrier jet. You know, the tanker sinking and fighting your way out of it and all sorts of stuff. So everyone was thinking you'd be running around New York part of the mission, which you do at the very end, technically. You know, the final fight, but
I gave him a card key for the hangar.
I mean, it wasn't anything that was like in the trailers.
Destroy Arsenal gear?
No, even for Snake, it's impossible to completely destroy this thing.
Would have been cool, but yeah.
And his men.
What are you going to do?
Stay concealed. That's my role. I still can't.
It would have been like the opening level of Call of Duty 4 before they did that. Which, in my opinion, is like one of the best opening levels ever to a game. That was
you
great.
Can't keep this up. They're bound to find you.
Listen, I'll free you in a little while. Brace yourself.
Oh! My Solid Snake! Oh yeah, it was major hype. I mean, it's like I've bought just about every single PlayStation with the exception of 4 just to play Metal Gear Solid games. I bought my PlayStation 1 to play Metal Gear Solid, 2 just to play the demo for Metal Gear Solid.
Jack, are you all right?
And 3
Yeah.
had Metal Gear Solid
Jack, is
4
it true
bundled in with
what
it.
Solidus said?
Yes.
It's unbelievable. Drafting small children, sending them to war? It's not allowed under international conventions.
ICC rules don't mean a lot in war. Someone told me that there are over 300,000 children in combat right now. I was just one of them.
So you remember. I thought your memory had been manipulated by them.
It was. But I have nightmares every day. Pieces of the past I can't put together.
Why didn't you tell me?
You couldn't begin to understand.
You wouldn't know that until you try me.
I said a lot of the hate for number 2 is because you play the game as Raiden, and everything was set up to be playing as Solid Snake. The demo came out, you played as Snake. We didn't know that the tanker level was just the opening level of the game, and then you weren't going to play as him anymore. And that was like a huge betrayal.
If I survived the day's fight,
and I don't think anybody at the time was like, wow, that's great, I like playing as Raiden. It's like everyone was, I remember being really angry about it.
But I'm not even sure of that.
Jack.
I'm not like Snake. I never questioned.
And then you start playing through the game and you realize it's a remake of number 1, but you're not playing as Snake. You do run into him, you're like, cool, when I play as him again, and you don't.
You were the one they shot instead.
It's okay. No one is blaming you.
Oh, you're secretly blaming him, Rose. I know better.
Every day. The kind with macho guys and big guns. They call it image training.
So you got to watch action movies. That sounds terrible.
From the ground up into killing machines.
Just remember, unlike Rambo, you have to reload.
Still taste the gunpowder they mixed into the food.
Gunpowder? In the food?
The gunpowder had toluene in it.
Bang bang pasta.
Hallucinogenic properties. It kept us drugged, controllable.
Now, I've never heard of gunpowder being used as a hallucinogenic.
When the
That's
Civil War
one I've never
ended,
heard of.
those of us who survived were taken in by NGOs. They gave me a new life in
I don't think you really want to give people who are armed hallucinogenics.
But nothing's changed.
Because you never know when they think that the
only
pink
people
Barbara
who have no
Streisand monster
problem
is
with my
real and start
past
shooting at
have
you.
secrets and agendas of their own. Terrible nightmares. Every night. I can never forget.
Jack.
I'm so
I'm
upset
afraid of
and
the
I
night.
really don't know
That's
why.
I don't sleep next to you.
You should have told me.
Told you what? That I'm a killer? And always have been?
She's like,
No.
Jack, I've seen you murder like
What I
300
hate more
people
than
so
anything
far in
else
the
in
time
world
span of 10
is
hours.
my own past. I didn't want you or anyone to know about it. Now I know why I was chosen for this mission. No one can take him on, take him down, except me. I've been kept alive this long for this. I knew as soon as I saw Solidus.
Jack, I love you the way you are now. You have to believe me.
More angst than a Linkin Park
I didn't
album.
know anything about you, I admit that. Where you were born,
Or whatever it
how you
is the
grew
hip
up.
kids are into, because
But I
I'm
know
old
that
and
now,
not with it
and I know
anymore.
that what I feel for you can only get better. And I'll share in your past if that's the price.
It doesn't work that way. No one can share the burden of what I've done.
I wonder what the outtakes for this were like. They're reading through the script, they're like, really? I have to read this?
Accept the
What?
good and the bad, Jack. That's what you do for someone you love.
I don't want to share my past with anyone. I just want to forget about it.
And then in Metal Gear Rising, I'll fully embrace it
I
again,
haven't
and
told you,
yeah.
you know, about what I've done.
The last 2 years with you.
No, Rose, I can't do it. I have to angst alone. I want to be alone at Hot Topic.
But I can't go any farther.
They feel my pain.
I know you want to get married.
I...
But I can't. I can't risk starting a family.
Oops,
There's
too
no way
late. She's
to erase
preggo.
my
She's preggo.
childhood.
It's all right, Jack. Please, don't say any more.
Whenever you say, I don't want to have kids, that's when you know that your girlfriend, wife, girlfriend's girlfriend, mistress, confused younger neighbor is pregnant. Whee! Ha ha ha! Oh yes. I liked Linkin Park's first 2 albums, and then after that just went total crap.
Did you call Jack?
Okay, nothing there. Oh. Yeah, then Linkin Park's like, yeah, we're gonna change our style, and like, if you don't like it, too bad. It's like, wow, okay, kill your career. And then in the end, he went and had a swing band. Haha, topical.
Take care, Jack.
Alright, so this is where I'm going to end it here for now, because, like I said, it's late and my pills are wearing off. So it is time. No, there we go. Alright. So, reached the end of the stream, for today at least. I'll probably be streaming again tomorrow, and won't be playing this tomorrow. I'll actually be playing something different. I'll probably maybe do some Nintendo 64 games or arcade beat-em-ups. I usually don't play this like 2 days in a row or so. I do every other day. So I'll be back around in probably 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And of course, remember, if you live in daylight saving time, it's going to be, clocks will be changing back, so that's always good. So have fun writing your papers. I just got done with college myself, so it's all good. And I will see you all tomorrow, possibly, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. See you then.